Friends, now we'll talk about dynamic trunk. I'll show you how to configure a port as a dynamic trunk. Okay, it'll have two modes, auto and desirable. Okay, so this is the very simple diagram. Switch to a 3 1. These are connected with a single link. I don't need multiple link because I just want to show you how this functionality works. I have two workstations right now which are actually routers, but I'm using these as a workstations. Okay, so this is the task list. I'll explain you what is this dynamic trunk, what is DTP, how would you check all of its modes, what will happen if you make both ends as a dynamic desirable. Okay, I'll also show you what encapsulation does it use when it negotiates, and in the second part I'll make both ends as auto. We'll see what happens. And in point number 4 I'll make one as auto, other as desirable, and in point number 5 I'll make one end as a static encapsulation, then and second end as negotiate. We'll see. Okay, so very simple thing. I'll start with this one, FA0/17. okay, so I'll go to switch number 2, we'll configure this port, and then go to switch number 3, configure this port. That is FA0/17. So config T, interface FA0/17, switch port. Command is very simple, mode dynamic, then question mark. It will show you two ports, auto and desirable. Auto means it will not start the negotiation, and desirable, like it will start, it will even receive. Okay, so what happens between the negotiation? So actually in negotiation DTP packets are exchanged. DTP, okay, Dynamic Trunking Protocol packets. It is a Cisco proprietary feature, dynamic trunking. All right, so I'll also show you where to check DTP packets. So if you make auto, it will not start the negotiation, but it will reply. All right, let's make one end auto. Also note that it will by default negotiate on encapsulation at ISL, means because we haven't set any encapsulation right now, so it will negotiate to ISL by default. If other end is statically set to, let's say, .1 queue, then it will automatically negotiate to .1 queue. Okay, so I have just used one command, switch port mode dynamic auto here. I'll also enable it, no shut. Okay, I'll go to switch number 3 now. Config terminal, interface FA0/17, switch port mode dynamic. On that side it was auto, and this side I'll make it desirable. So when both ends are auto, trunk will not form. If one end is auto, other is desirable, it will form, or vice versa. If both ends are desirable, there is no issue with trunk, it will form. Okay, so no shut. Now you will see messages which will appear because it will now negotiate. Okay, let's check whether trunk has formed or not. Show interface trunk. You can see that it is formed. This side it is desirable. Let me show you at the other end. Show interface trunk, it is auto. Okay, by default it allows all of the VLANs 1 till 4094, and these are the active VLANs, means the VLANs which are existing. Both are same thing, but it will give you more specific information. So it is negotiating on ISL because on both ends there is no static encapsulation. Okay, so it is showing trunking. Same here, trunking. All right, so now I'll go to I'll talk about this link now. 0/11. I'll go to switch 2 on this port and then switch 1 on this port. Switch 2 config D interface FS 0/10. Is it that or it's different? 11, sorry. I tend to forget. Apologies. Switch port mode dynamic. Here I'll show you, I'll make it auto. Okay, no shut. On switch 1 I'll also make it auto, just to show you that trunk will not form. Interface FS 0/11. Switch port mode dynamic auto, no shut. Port status will be up, however trunk will not form. Show interface trunk. See, it is not forming. So I told you that DTP packets will be exchanged. Okay, so both ends will not generate DTP packets. Let's see if it has any commands. Show DTP interface FA 0/11. It is in auto mode. Actually, these packets are old packets, which means when I formed trunk for testing. Okay, because I have to test everything before showing you. So right now it is auto, and similarly, if I go to switch number 2, do show interface trunk and see show interface trunk. See, it is only forming the old one, means the other one, FS 0/17, but there is no indication of 11. So let's check show DTP interface FS 0/11. It will say auto. Okay. So if you check it for other interface which is doing well, it is saying this end is auto, and if you go to switch number 3, show DTP interface FA 0/17. See, it is desirable. All right. So you must have noticed that right now it is showing running here, but if I check it on switch 1, it is saying this access timer is stopped. Okay, so now I'll have to make this end as desirable. Interface FA 0/11 switch port mode dynamic desirable. Now let's see if trunk forms or not. Let's wait and watch. Show interface trunk. See, it is now forming, right? Desirable. Negotiating over ISL, because Cisco's own proprietary encapsulation method. Okay, so we have achieved, we talked about dynamic trunk where, and I showed you by making one end as auto, other as desirable, both as auto. If you make both as desirable, it will work. If you still want to see it very quickly, I'll just do it for there will be no impact on the trunk. Config D interface FS 0/11. Command is very simple, dynamic desirable. Earlier it was auto. Show interface trunk. See, now it is showing desirable. All right. If you scroll up and see what was the earlier, it was not coming up because it was auto. Anyways, you've learned about it. So I have IP addresses configured, and I have VLAN configured as well. So this port is in VLAN 55. This one is VLAN 55. So I'll generate some packet from R1 towards R3, which will take this path. Okay, this path. This one will be the traffic pattern. So let me go to R1. show IP interface brief. It has the IP 10.1.1.1. The R3 has 10.1.1.3. okay, let me mention it here by changing the color. It is just to show you that connectivity will work, because there is no issue with trunks. 3, it is 10.1.1.1. okay, because this one is in VLAN 55 and VLAN 55 is allowed, because by default all VLANs are allowed on trunk unless you specifically block it. 10.1.1.3. see, it is working. So very simple, right? Okay, last thing was, I was telling you, if by default it will negotiate on ISL. If you make one end as static, you know this n means negotiating. I'll make this end as switch port trunk encapsulation .1q. okay, so I'll go to switch 2 now and will show you. See, this is the previous status. It was negotiating on ISL. Now let's see what happens. And whenever you make any changes on the encapsulation, this protocol will go down. It will renegotiate. okay, so earlier one it was negotiating at ISL. Now it is negotiating at .1q. all right, this is the thing. So let me show you the configuration. Show run interface FA0/11. it is showing this. So if you want to again make it negotiation, either you can remove this command, switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, or other way around is that you run this command, interface FA0/11 switch port trunk encapsulation negotiate. okay, now this command has gone away. okay, see, again it will negotiate on ISL. see, ISL by default all VLANs are allowed, and this one shows the accurate data, like which VLANs are specifically allowed. It is just showing that I don't block anything by default. So you may try to ping again. It will take some time because we have made changes. See, it is now up. Whenever you make changes on encapsulation mode, trunk will bounce. So don't do it in the office timing. Take outage window. So friends, I hope it's been informative to you, and thank you so much. I appreciate.